Good morning. This is Kim Blaylock with SDG Bible Study. That's the SOLI DEO GLORIA Bible Study coming to you on this Friday morning, August the 15th, 2025. I hope everyone is doing well as we're closing out the work week. And I hope you're ready for the reading of God's Word as we continue from the reading of the Everyday Gospel, a daily devotional by Paul David Tripp. We're going to be in the book of Jeremiah this morning, chapters 32, 33, and 34 this morning. So 3 chapters to read. So let's dive into it this morning. Join me as we read God's Word together. Jeremiah chapter 32. The word that came to Jeremiah from Yahweh in the 10th year of Zedekiah, king of Judah, which was the 18th year of Nebuchadnezzar. Now at that time, the military force of the king of Babylon was besieging Jerusalem, and Jeremiah the prophet was shut up in the court of the guard, which was in the house of the king of Judah, because Zedekiah, king of Judah, had shut him up, saying, "Why do you prophesy, saying, Thus says Yahweh, behold, I'm about to give this city into the hand of the king of Babylon, and he will capture it. And Zedekiah, the king of Judah, will not escape out of the hand of the Chaldeans, but he will surely be given into the hand of the king of Babylon, and he will speak with him face to face and see him eye to eye. And he will lead Zedekiah to Babylon, and he will be there until I visit him, declares Yahweh. If you fight against the Chaldeans, you will not succeed." And Jeremiah said, "The word of Yahweh came to me, saying, Behold, Hanamel, the son of Shallum, your uncle, is coming to you, saying, Buy for yourself my field, which is at Anatoth, for you have the legal judgment for redemption to buy it." Then Hanamel, my uncle's son, came to me in the court of the guard, according to the word of Yahweh, and said to me, "Buy my field, please, that is at Anatoth, which is in the land of Benjamin, for you have the legal judgment for possession, and the redemption is yours. Buy it for yourself." Then I knew that this was the word of Yahweh. I bought the field which was at Anatoth from Hanamel, my uncle's son, and I weighed out the silver for him, 17 shekels of silver. And I signed and sealed the deed and called in witnesses and weighed out the silver on the scales. Then I took the deeds of purchase, both the sealed copy containing the commandment and the statutes and the open copy. And I gave the deed of purchase to Barak, the son of Neriah, the son of Maaseiah, in the sight of Hanamel, my uncle's son, and in the sight of the witnesses who signed the deed of purchase, in the sight of all the Jews who were sitting in the court of the guard. And I commanded Barak in their sight, saying, "Thus says Yahweh of hosts, the God of Israel, take these deeds, this deed of purchase, that is the sealed one as well as the open deed, and put them in an earthenware jar, that they may last a long time. For thus says Yahweh of hosts, the God of Israel, houses and fields and vineyards will again be bought in this land." After I had given the deed of purchase to Barak the son of Neriah, then I prayed to Yahweh, saying, Lord Yahweh, behold, you have made the heavens and the earth by your great power, by your outstretched arm. Nothing is too difficult for you, who shows loving kindness to thousands, but repays the iniquity of fathers into the bosom of their children after them. O great and mighty God, Yahweh of hosts is his name, great in counsel and abundant in deeds, whose eyes are open to all the ways of the sons of men, giving to everyone according to his ways and according to the fruit of his deeds, who has set signs and wonders in the land of Egypt, and even to this day, both in Israel and among mankind, and you have made a name for yourself as at this day. You brought your people Israel out of the land of Egypt with signs and with wonders, and with a strong hand, with an outstretched arm, and with great terror, and gave them this land which you swore to their fathers to give them, a land flowing with milk and honey. They came in and took possession of it, but they did not listen to your voice and did not walk in your law. They have not done anything that you commanded them to do. Therefore, you have made all this harmful evil come upon them. Behold, the siege ramps have come to the city to capture it, and the city is given into the hand of the Chaldeans, who fight against it because of the sword, the famine, and the pestilence. And what you have spoken has happened. And behold, you see it. And you have said to me, O Lord Yahweh, buy for yourself the field with money and call in witnesses, but the city is given into the hand of the Chaldeans. Then the word of Yahweh came to Jeremiah, saying, Behold, I am Yahweh, the God of all flesh. Is anything too difficult for me? Therefore, thus says Yahweh, behold, I'm about to give this city into the hand of the Chaldeans and into the hand of Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon, and he will capture it. And the Chaldeans who are fighting against this city will enter and set this city on fire and burn it, with the houses where people have burned incense to Baal on their roofs, and poured out drink offerings to other gods to provoke me to anger. Indeed, the sons of Israel and the sons of Judah have been doing only evil in my sight from their youth. For the sons of Israel have been only provoking me to anger by the work of their hands, declares Yahweh. Indeed, this city has been to me a provocation of my anger and my wrath from the day they built it, even to this day, so that it should be removed from before my face, because of all the evil of the sons of Israel and the sons of Judah, which they have done to provoke me to anger, they, their kings, their princes, their priests, their prophets, the men of Judah, and the inhabitants of Jerusalem. They have turned their back to me and not their face, though I taught them, rising up early and teaching. They would not listen and receive discipline, but they put their detestable things in the house which is called by my name to defile it. They built the high places of Baal that are in the valley of Ben Hinnom, to cause their sons and their daughters to pass through the fire to Moloch, which I had not commanded them, nor had it come upon my heart that they should do this abomination, to cause Judah to sin. So now, therefore, thus says Yahweh, the God of Israel, concerning the city of which you are saying, it is given into the hand of the king of Babylon by sword, by famine, and by pestilence. Behold, I will gather them out of all the lands to which I banished them in my anger, in my wrath, and in great indignation. And I will cause them to return to this place and make them inhabit it in safety. And they shall be my people, and I will be their God. And I will give them one heart and one way, that they may fear me always, for their own good and for the good of their children after them. I will cut an everlasting covenant with them, that I will not turn away from them to do them good. And I will put the fear of me in their hearts, so that they will not turn away from me. And I will rejoice over them to do them good, and will truly plant them in this land with all my heart and with all my soul. For thus says Yahweh, just as I brought all this great evil on this people, so I am going to bring on them all the good that I am promising them. Thus fields will be bought in this land of which you all are saying, it is a desolation, without man or beast. It is given into the hand of the Chaldeans. Men will buy fields for money, sign and seal deeds, and call in witnesses in the land of Benjamin, in the surroundings of Jerusalem, in the cities of Judah, in the cities of the hill countries, in the cities of the Shephelah, and in the cities of the Negev, for I will return their fortunes, declares Yahweh. Now to chapter 33. Then the word of Yahweh came to Jeremiah the second time, while he was still confined in the court of the guard, saying, Thus says Yahweh, who made the earth, Yahweh, who formed it to establish it. Yahweh is his name. Call to me, and I will answer you, and I will tell you great and mighty things, which you do not know. For thus says Yahweh, the God of Israel, concerning the house of this city, and concerning the houses of the kings of Judah, which are torn down to make a defense against the siege ramps and against the sword. While they are coming to fight with the Chaldeans, and to fill them with the corpses of men whom I have struck down in my anger and in my wrath, and I have hidden my face from this city because of all their evil, behold, I will bring it to health and healing, and I will heal them, and I will reveal to them an abundance of peace and truth. I will return the fortunes of Judah and the fortunes of Israel, and will rebuild them as they were at first. And I will cleanse them from all their iniquity by which they have sinned against me, and I will pardon all their iniquities by which they have sinned against me, and by which they have transgressed against me. And it will be to me a name of joy, praise, and beauty before all the nations of the earth, which will hear of all the good that I do for them, and they will be in dread and tremble because of all the good and all the peace that I make for it. Thus says Yahweh, yet again there will be heard in this place of which you say, it is a waste without man and without beast, that is, in the cities of Judah and in the streets of Jerusalem that are desolate, without man and without inhabitant and without beast. the voice of joy and the voice of gladness, the voice of the bridegroom and the voice of the bride, the voice of those who say, give thanks to Yahweh of hosts. For Yahweh is good, for his loving kindness endures forever. And of those who bring a thank offering into the house of Yahweh, for I will return the fortunes of the land as they were at first, says Yahweh. Thus says Yahweh of hosts, there will again be in this place which is waste without a man or beast, and in all its cities, an abode of shepherds who cause their flocks to lie down, in the cities of the hill countries, in the cities of the Shephelah, in the cities of the Negeb, in the land of Benjamin, in the surroundings of Jerusalem, and in the cities of Judah, the flocks will again pass under the hands of the one who numbers them, says Yahweh. Behold, days are coming, declares Yahweh, when I will establish the good word which I have spoken concerning the house of Israel and the house of Judah. In those days and at that time I will cause a righteous branch of David to branch forth, and he shall do justice and righteousness on the earth. In those days Judah will be saved, and Jerusalem will dwell in security. And this is the name by which she will be called. Yahweh is our righteousness. For thus says Yahweh, David shall not have a man cut off from sitting on the throne of the house of Israel, and the Levitical priest shall not have a man cut off from before me, who is to offer burnt offerings, to offer up grain offerings and smoke, and to perform sacrifices continually. Then the word of Yahweh came to Jeremiah, saying, thus says Yahweh, if you can break my covenant for the day and my covenant for the night, so that day and night will not be at their appointed time, then my covenant may also be broken with David, my servant, so that he will not have a son to reign on his throne, and with the Levitical priests, my ministers. As the hosts of heaven cannot be counted, and the sand of the sea cannot be measured, so I will multiply the seed of David, my servant, and the Levites who minister to me. And the word of Yahweh came to Jeremiah, saying, have you not seen what this people have spoken, saying, the two families which Yahweh chose, he has rejected them? Thus they have spurned my people from being a nation any longer in their sight. Thus says Yahweh, if my covenant for day and night stand not, and the statutes for heaven and earth I have not established, then I would reject the seed of Jacob and David my servant, not taking from his seed rulers over the seed of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. But I will return their fortunes, and will have compassion on them. Now to chapter 34. The word which came to Jeremiah from Yahweh when Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon, and all his military force, with all the kingdoms of the earth that were under his dominion, and all the peoples were fighting against Jerusalem and against all its cities, saying, thus says Yahweh, the God of Israel, go and speak to Zedekiah, king of Judah, and say to him, thus says Yahweh, behold, I am giving this city into the hand of the king of Babylon, and he will burn it with fire. And you will not escape from his hand, for you will surely be seized and given into his hand. And you will see the king of Babylon eye to eye, and he will speak with you face to face, and you will go to Babylon. Yet hear the word of Yahweh, O Zedekiah, king of Judah. Thus says Yahweh concerning you, you will not die by the sword. You will die in peace. And as spices were burned for your fathers, the former kings who were before you, so they will burn spices for you. And they will lament for you, alas, Lord, for I have spoken the word, declares Yahweh. Then Jeremiah the prophet spoke all these words to Zedekiah, king of Judah, in Jerusalem, when the military force of the king of Babylon was fighting against Jerusalem and against all the cities of Judah that were left, that is, Lachish and Azekah, for they alone remained as fortified cities among the cities of Judah. The word which came to Jeremiah from Yahweh after King Zedekiah had cut a covenant with all the people who were in Jerusalem to proclaim release to them. And each man should let his male slave go free, and each man his female slave, a Hebrew man or a Hebrew woman, so that no one should enslave them, each being a Jew, his brother. And all the officials and all the people obeyed, who had entered into the covenant. They obeyed and let them go free. But afterwards they turned around and returned to themselves the male slaves and the female slaves, whom they had let go as free, and subdued them to be male slaves and female slaves. And the word of Yahweh came to Jeremiah from Yahweh, saying, Thus says Yahweh, the God of Israel, I cut a covenant with your fathers in the day that I brought them out of the land of Egypt, from the house of slavery, saying, At the end of 7 years, each of you shall let his Hebrew brother go, who has been sold to you and has served you 6 years, and you shall let him go to be free from you. But your fathers did not obey me or incline their ear to me. Although recently you had turned and done what is right in my sight, each man proclaiming release to his neighbor, and you had cut a covenant before me in the house which is called by my name, yet you turned and profaned my name, and each man returned to themselves his male slave, and each man his female slave, whom you had let go as free according to their desire, and you subdued them to be your male slaves and female slaves. Therefore, thus says Yahweh, you have not obeyed me in proclaiming release, each man to his brother and each man to his neighbor. Behold, I am proclaiming a release to you, declares Yahweh, to the sword, to the pestilence, and to the famine, and I will make you a terror to all the kingdoms of the earth. And I will give the men who have trespassed against my covenant, who have not established the words of the covenant which they cut before me when they cut the calf in two and passed between its parts, the officials of Judah and the officials of Jerusalem, the court officers and the priests, and all the people of the land who passed between the parts of the calf. I will give them into the hand of their enemies and into the hand of those who seek their life, and their dead bodies will be food for the birds of the sky and the beasts of the earth. And as for Zedekiah, king of Judah, and his officials, I will give them into the hand of their enemies, and into the hand of those who seek their life, and into the hand of the military force of the king of Babylon, which has gone away from you. Behold, I am going to command, declares Yahweh, and will cause them to return to this city. They will fight against it and capture it and burn it with fire, and I will make the cities of Judah a desolation without inhabitant. That's going to conclude our reading from the biblical text. Now our devotional reading. You can't base your understanding of God and what he is doing on your own interpretation of your circumstances. No, it's your knowledge of who God is and what he does that allows you to understand your circumstances properly. As the world watches the travails of the people of God, people will mock us. They will ask, where is your God now? Why does he let these horrible things happen? Why does he allow bad things to happen to good people? Can't you see that he has turned his back on you? Or don't you see that he simply doesn't exist? The subtle or not so subtle mockery of the world is hard enough. But since God's ways are not our ways, and his thoughts are not like our thoughts, even God himself often leaves us confused and wondering. Sometimes we think he doesn't hear us. It doesn't always feel as though he is near. Sometimes it's hard to hold on to the truth that he cares for us. It's tempting in these moments to allow ourselves to listen to the voices of those who question not only God's goodness, but the very fact of his existence. As God was disciplining his children for their sin during the time of Jeremiah, it seemed as though he had forsaken them. It was unthinkable that Jerusalem would be devastated, and even more unthinkable that the temple would be destroyed. It must have been horrible for families to be ripped apart, forced out of their homes, and taken as captives by enemy forces. Would the children of God end up once again as slaves in a foreign land? Where was God? What happened to the exercise of his power on behalf of his people? Had he turned his back on his covenant promises? Had he abandoned the people whom he had chosen as his own? What would come of his eternal covenantal plan? In the moments when you're flooded with questions, confusion, and doubt, you're susceptible to listening to those who neither know nor believe in God. Such was the case in Jeremiah's time, so God spoke to his children with the words of remembrance and grace. The word of the Lord came to Jeremiah. Have you not observed that these people are saying, the Lord has rejected the two clans that he chose? Thus they have despised my people, so that they are no longer a nation in their sight. Thus says the Lord, if you have not established my covenant with day and night, and the fixed order of heaven and earth, then I will reject the offspring of Jacob and David, my servant, and will not choose one of his offspring to rule over the offspring of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. For I will restore their fortunes and will have mercy on them. Jeremiah chapter 33, verses 23 to 26. The nations around Israel were saying, why don't you give up and quit believing? It's clear that God has rejected you, but God says, don't listen to them. My promises to you are as secure as a natural order. Your faith may not be respected by the culture around you. Don't give in to hopelessness or doubt. God's promises to you are as secure as the earth beneath your feet. Let's turn to Psalms 14 and read verses 1 through 7. The wicked fool says in his heart, there is no God. They act corruptly. They commit abominable deeds. There's no one who does good. Yahweh looks down from heaven upon the sons of men to see if there is anyone who has insight, anyone who seeks after God. They have all turned aside. Altogether they have become worthless. There is no one who does good, not even one. Do all the workers of iniquity not know, who eat up my people as they eat bread and do not call upon Yahweh? They are in great dread, for God is with the righteous generation. You would put to shame the counsel of the afflicted, but Yahweh is his refuge. Oh, that the salvation of Israel would come out of Zion when Yahweh restores his captive people. May Jacob rejoice, may Israel be glad. That is going to conclude our reading this morning from God's Word and the devotional. So thankful this morning that God keeps his word. He's faithful and true. There's not one word from this biblical text, from Genesis to Revelation, that will not come to pass and that it is not true. Keep that in mind. Rest in those truths. Don't let this world deceive you. Hope you have a blessed day. Hope you will give God glory in it. Remember, he is seated on the throne. My God's in heaven. He's doing as he pleases. That gives me great comfort. Have a blessed day. SOLI DEO GLORIA.